Hey everybody, it's raining today, so I thought, well, I can't really do anything outside. I might as well come out here and talk about a couple of things that I've seen the last day or two that are, I don't know, blowing my mind. Not really. I mean, it's not that unexpected, but okay. Are you ready for your ear tag? Because I think that's what's coming. Oh my goodness, I need to get these glasses all right. Gosh, they're crooked. Either I'm crooked or my glasses are crooked. I don't know. I think it's me. These are my computer glasses. I have something here I want to read because, and that's why I'm wearing the computer glasses. Okay. Are you ready for your ear tag? Because this is where we're headed, I'm afraid. And there's a couple of different stories that come from different states that, to me, are related to the same thing. And most people wouldn't see any connection between these two, but I bet y'all will. Well, in a borough in Pennsylvania, in Newtown Borough, they're considering a ban on chickens. You know why? They say, this is what they say, that it is due to a rat infestation. Now, yes, I've had a couple rats in my barn lately, and you know what all I've done to get rid of them, and for the last 4 days, there have been no rats, no mice, no nothing. When we got that one that I think was actually caught in the barn somewhere, living in there somehow, that would come out at night, I think that's what was happening, there was no more. Now, every once in a while there'll be a mouse here and there, but that barn is built so that rats generally can't get in. And these were tunneling under the floor. Well, sorry. These were tunneling under the floor into an area I didn't have covered with the floor, so to speak. It was down where the ground was, still in the very back of the roll-up door where we didn't make the floor raised up off the ground, and they were coming under the floor and into the barn. Once we sealed all that up, I was left with basically one, and it took me a while to get that one. So this borough in Pennsylvania, a Newtown borough, is considering a total ban on chickens. Now, they said they would grandfather in people who already had them, but new people couldn't get any. I'm sure that's going to go over well with some people. They said, how are we being singled out? They have them, my neighbor has them, why can't I have them? And of course they'll have the excuse. But what they're thinking is the chickens will die out and they won't be able to get any more. Oh, not if you're self-sufficient and you can hatch your own. Sorry. But this has nothing to do with health. This is a public health thing. This has nothing to do with health, honestly. This ban on chickens it just shows their lack of knowledge about why rats would show up and how they show up. For example, New York City has a huge rat infestation. New York City. Now, they don't have there's no bastion of chicken keeping in New York City. So why do they have rats? See, rats show up where there's garbage. Rats show up where they have places to hide, like wood piles and brush piles. Rats go where they can hide and where they can come out at night to forage. Simple as that. Chickens do not draw rats. The food draws the rats. And if a rat happens to get into a barn, like mine, which I thought was pretty much rat-proof, mice-proof, no, rat-proof, yes, under the floor, it's not because I have chickens. It's because they got a taste of some food, and they are hanging around with the food. Even if you don't, and of course you should always store your food in metal containers that they can't chew through. Yes, you should. And then they can't get them. But if you feed a chicken and you put it in a feeder, they will dump food on the floor. There's no getting around it. That's going to happen. So if one gets in, it's going to try to stay in there and bring its family in, that kind of thing. And you have to be vigilant on keeping things as clean as it can be with chickens as far as the feed droppage goes. And because they don't pick up everything they drop. And if it's in a scratch mix, they'll pick out the parts they really like and leave the rest and just dump it on the ground. And that happens all the time. But they don't understand that rats are not drawn by chickens, they're drawn by feed. If you store your feed, okay, you won't have that big a problem. my food was stored. They were having to get orders dropped on the floor. But now I think I have, you have to be vigilant about this stuff. You have to. I had 19 years. This is the first time I had a rat in my barn. The first time ever in a chicken coop. Now, cities have ridiculous regulations about chickens, okay? For instance, Chester County, Pennsylvania. I didn't see Newtown's, is it Newtown? Let me look. Is that Newtown? Yeah, Newtown. I didn't look at Newtown's regulations, as they are now, but I would assume they're pretty much similar to Chester County's. And they said their minimum standards for keeping domesticated chickens. This is Chester County, same state. This article enables people to keep chickens on a non-commercial basis as an accessory use to a residence while limiting the adverse effect of the activity on surrounding properties. Such adverse effects that affect other people would be noise. Have you ever seen a completely quiet chicken? I'm not talking about roosters, I'm talking about the hens. The caterwauling they do is insane. That's the natural. If you can keep chickens, you have to allow for some noise. If you can't allow for noise, then why are you letting them keep chickens? I mean, do you see what I mean? So, adverse effects, noise, odors. You can walk into my chicken coop right into the barn, and you are not hit in the face with nasty odors. Chicken barns are not necessarily dirty smelling, okay? Because it's up to you to keep it clean, because they're stuck, they can't. Okay, and then other things, unsanitary conditions, attraction of predators. Really? Why would a chicken predator be a danger to you necessarily? Unless it's a bear, and bears don't really care that much usually. They'll pass by chicken coops 100 times on the way from one place to another. They generally don't try to tear into them, although they can. They can. Predators, chickens running at large, unsightly conditions, and similar adverse conditions. The special exception required. A zoning permit will be required. They're going to make sure that they have, the ordinances and whatnot so that they can say, you need to keep it clean, you need to watch out for your birds, they can't ruin other people's property, which I completely agree with. That shouldn't happen in the country either. As much as I love chickens, I don't want somebody else's chickens on my property. They may be diseased and mine aren't. But they're talking about reasonable conditions might include the provision of landscaping or fencing to screen the views of the activity and all that. And it says, domesticated chickens can be kept for non-commercial purposes only. Incidental sale of eggs is not prohibited. Let me get my piece of paper out here. I've got a thing that doesn't want to hold on to it. And it says the township would regulate the incidental sale of eggs as it would regulate a typical roadside vegetable stand. Well, if I sell eggs in this state on a vegetable roadside stand, I have to have a candling permit, which I don't have and I never will have. And of course, they said no chicken shall be permitted to roam freely. Minimum lot size is 1 acre. Now, this is 1 acre is the limit. You can't have chickens at all if you have less than an acre. And it says some municipalities have chosen to allow chickens on lots smaller than 1 acre and limit the number of chickens accordingly. But when you hear how many they allow on 1 acre, you're going to go, they're limited in what? You can have one? You can have one? Maybe? Okay, 3 chickens shall be permitted for the first 1 acre. 3. At some time, you may have to have more than 3. If they're getting old and dying off and stop laying, you may have to have an addition to keep your egg supply up. See, they don't want that, though. They don't want that. There should be no limit on the number of chickens on lots over 5 acres. Municipalities may impose a reasonable maximum limit on the number of chickens on larger lots, but it may not be necessary to do so for lots where the potential for neighborhood disturbance is limited. Okay, no rooster shall be permitted on any lot less than 5 acres. Why? It says some municipalities impose a complete ban on roosters. Why? You can't be self-sufficient and reproduce your own chickens. But that's ridiculous. They don't understand the nature of chickens because hens can caterwaul all day long while roosters don't. And they probably have the Hollywood idea of roosters that they only crow at dawn, and they can't have them waking everybody. Honey, they'll crow anytime they see a light flash in the window or they hear a noise outside, they'll crow. Okay? That is the nature of the animal. They're telling you you can keep an animal like hens, but you can't allow for their nature, their natural inclinations. I've seen plenty of those kind of ordinances. And of course it goes on and on about setbacks and restrictions for the coops and all that kind of crap and all that. And so we've got that. But see, the thing about chickens, we might ban chickens because of a rat infestation. Okay, explain then, what are you doing in New York City? When you have a rat infestation and you don't have the chickens, are you going to, by the Democrat logic, it's like humans create garbage, garbage draws rats, we need to kill all the humans. That's the logic. That's the logical analysis, analogy. Sorry about my voice is hoarse. It's really raining today and I woke up with a weather headache. But anyway, and now, then we see the foreign invaders coming into this country. Now, you don't think it's related? It's kind of related. At least I can relate them. The foreign invasion. No, they're not migrant. They're not migrants. They're not wildebeests that migrate across the river once a year and back again. They're not wildebeests. They're invaders. And this next story has, to me, something to do, a great deal to do with the influx of foreign invaders to our southern border and the states surrounding the southern border. This story comes out of Phoenix, Arizona. A state that's coincidentally flooded with these people, right? Thanks to the invitation of the reprobate in the White House. But so, Phoenix, Arizona is considering just ignoring all the zoning regulations about property setbacks. And they want you to be able to build on the property line. Are you serious? And if you have a quarter of an acre on the property line, it's pretty dang close. Pretty dang close. Now, this is a dream for developers. They are going to be drooling. They are already drooling at this bill to eliminate all the zoning. Forget the zoning. Let's pack them all together, which of course is a curse for those people who want privacy and want to grow gardens and maybe have a chicken or two in their yard. You will no longer have enjoyment of your private property because people are going to cram right on top of you. Even if you own a house, they're going to cram right on top of you. So the goal of both the chicken bans, every spring they come out with these articles. Oh, it might be dangerous to have chickens. I've never had anything go wrong with me or in my family due to my chickens in almost going on 20 years now. But this goal, all this, you want to forget the zoning, forget having space between houses. Let's just pack them all together. Developers are going crazy because they can build so many more if they can stick them right side by side. Might as well live in an apartment, for God's sake, right? Well, and you can't grow, you won't have any yard for growing enough vegetables. You can grow some flowers, I'm sure, but you won't have enough yard to be able to grow food, enough food to make any difference. You won't be able to get any sun if everything's packed together on the side and front and back. You're not going to be able to get any sun to grow your food. And you'd have to grow it in the backyard because that growing your own food can be dangerous. I saw another article about that they want to stop you from growing your own food. It's not to do with health. Please listen, it is not to do with health. This is not about public health. This is about public control. The goal is to cram us all in like cattle in a feedlot, eating unnatural foods like bugs. We are not meant to eat bugs. Chitin and bugs is not digestible. I don't care what some trollish Yahoo said to me. It's not digestible by human beings. And it doesn't have the nutrition. And if I see one more thing on Good Morning America, which I don't even watch, but I pass by and it's on and it's like, oh my God, they're showing you how to cook bugs. It's ridiculous. A species eating an unnatural food to them often get diseases that pop up. Devastating diseases like mad cow disease, which happened when a spongiform encephalitis, I think they call it, they were being fed ground up dead cattle. They were being fed unnatural foods. Grains, to have a cow raised totally on grains is an unnatural food for a cow. And that ended up in mad cow disease. And then all of a sudden, they took all the animal protein out of chicken feeds. And that's what led to a whole lot of problems with feather quality, reproduction, everything. They, like us, they're avian species, but they do have some similar. They need animal protein for their optimal health. But the 2030 agenda is just this thing about Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, is just something to put us all in rack-em stack-em housing. So we can't even spread out. We can't grow vegetables. We can't have chickens. We can't get away from other human beings for 5 minutes. They're watching everything you do over the fence. If you're allowed to have a fence. Very soon they won't let you have fences either, because we can't have privacy. You know, it leads to horrible things. Sarcasm there, of course. But you can't be self-sufficient. You can't have any enjoyment of your private property. We'll all have to be eating government-approved food soon, you know, and we won't ever have any clue what's in them, considering what they've talked about with the mRNA crap. Oh, well, they won't get an injection? Well, just stick it in their food. Well, then you better not eat their food. You don't know what's in their food. Remember I talked about the fast food restaurants where they had their 100% white meat chicken tested? And it was found out that it was only 60% actual chicken a lot of times. 40, 50, 60% chicken. That was all. The rest was fillers like seaweed, and they even found sawdust in some of these. I don't think we're termites. We weren't intended to eat wood, okay? Unnatural foods. They want us all on electricity. Oh, you can't have any solar. I mean, if you're on a tiny little 1/16 of an acre lot and everybody's right around you, there's nowhere to get sun to get your solar. Where's your solar? Where's your solar? They won't let you have solar. Oh, it's unsightly. They don't like the looks of it. We have to have rules against solar panels up anywhere. They want you all on electricity so that at any given time, a switch can be flipped, turn off everything, and you will have to humble yourself in some very unsavory ways in order to get it back. Oh, well, you can we'll turn your electricity back on if you go get yourself injected with this mystery poison. I can see it happening. They want us all in the dark and cold, or hot, you know what season it is. And it's all about compliance. It's all about compliance, in my opinion. Non-compliance has always been my default setting. And it should be yours, too. Those two things, the chicken restrictions and all stuff, and then the zoning changing where they want to stick all the houses closer together, and related to the invasion of the alien army, it's all related. It's all part of the 2030 agenda. You'll own nothing and be happy. And the closer you are, the less and less you own, the closer you are to owning nothing. Now, I have talked about how we're considering putting a house on our other lot. We've considered this for a while. This house is very difficult to get up and down. The property's hard to manage for us. I mean, it wouldn't be for somebody 20 years younger. And when we were 22, 23 years younger, it wasn't as hard for us either. Of course, it wasn't as, it had more woods, and so you don't really need to manage the woods too much. But I couldn't grow anything with no sunlight, so I had to clear out some sun space. But I talked about that, and I've been looking at things that are still in the market. The market is expected to go up 5% more in cost this year, in prices this year. They're not talking about, some people say, oh, crash, 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 but I was listening to somebody who said most people think that the prices are going to rise a little bit, another 5% at least, over the next year. And they do believe interest rates will come down 1%. Now, that's just a projection. It's anybody's guess if that'll really happen. But I can tell you what, There's nothing on the market that I can afford, even if I sell this and move somewhere else, and it would be, I wouldn't get anything as in good a shape as I wouldn't get anything. Everything available has no land. I mean, I might see a 2-acre thing here and there, but I really only see usually 1 acre or less, in the $400,000+ range. And this has established gardens. It has fruit trees, although I won't get any Moonglow pears this year because the squirrels ate all the buds. Almost all the buds, and I'm sure they'll eat the rest of them if the frost doesn't get them. So we've got the berries and the fruit trees, and the gardens are already conditioned with good rich dark soil, and all the blueberries, blackberries, cherries. So we have cherry trees, peach tree, pear tree, and we have a 20 by 24 foot steel building. And I look in the price range that I think this should sell for. I see nothing. I see nothing, and I'm not taking out a mortgage. I could take out a contemporary bridge loan or something to get from into another place, and then, fix the, paint this and do everything in it, and then sell it so that I don't have to take every bit of equity out of the house. I could do that, but even if I'm not going to get a mortgage. I will not have another mortgage. I worked too hard to get rid of the mortgage that we have. I'm not going to get another one, not at this stage of my life. And we've looked into building. We've looked at the SIPs panels. No. We've looked into modular. No. Not today's modular. I think they used to be better, but we've looked into like America's Home Place. Okay, they're a builder of, I guess you'd call tract homes. I mean, they're a builder of houses in most states. They hire contractors who are local to the area when they do it. Their prices seem really low. Their base prices of certain square footages are pretty low. But you need to investigate what's actually standard and what isn't, and how much they charge for what isn't, and then whether your house is good or not. It depends on really, I'm going to have to go. My husband's coming home. It really depends on a lot of things, like how good the contractor is that they hire in your area. Hang on just a minute. Sorry, I had to go help my husband get some of the groceries in he brought. So I was talking about this little tract home builder, build on your own land kind of thing. And, if we want to take a chance on it, back up. It's going to be a good bit. But, I mean, more than, there was a local builder we talked to here that we passed by the house he's been building, and I thought it was him. We stopped there. There were workers there. I said, can we find out who built this house? Who's the builder of this house? And he said, I am a builder, but I didn't build a house. I'm just doing the gutters for a friend. So basically he was saying to have a 1,200 square foot house or so, it's going to cost you about $350,000. I'm like, really? Are you serious? No. I need it to be where I don't have a mortgage. So it was a lot more than I expected him to say. Now, he didn't give me an exact quote. Now, he didn't see the lot. He didn't see what we wanted to build, which is less than 1,200 square feet. He didn't see all that, okay? And I can still go to another local builder that has good reputation, and see what they have to say. The problem is, everything is ridiculously expensive. These are not normal house prices. They're just not. When you see a 700 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath cabin on a half an acre and it's $425,000, something's wrong. And there used to be a lot of little cabins around here that people had. You go to buy a cabin or a house here, and you could look at 15 little cabins that were 800 to 1,000 square feet. They don't exist anymore. Now up on the ridges they have multi-million-dollar homes. And, that's not me. If I had multi-million dollars in my bank, it still probably wouldn't be me. Okay? I just wouldn't. I wouldn't build up on a cliff next to a neighbor if I had that kind of money. But the market is really screwed up. And there is a chance that in the interim, if we start a contract and build a house, and I have to build that house and be in it so I can paint the walls in this house and, freshen it up for sale. But see, the point is I would have to sell it. I couldn't have it anymore. I have to sell it. I can't afford to hold 2 houses. There's no need. And maybe I could rent it out, but then I had to get rent and then have to pay the payment on the other one. I really don't want to do that. I want it to be a cash thing. That's what I want. That is my goal. So that may actually not even be feasible. Now, maybe the next guy we get in the White House, maybe, just maybe, the rates will come down, the cost of supplies will come down. We don't know. It's a mystery world that we're all living in. So I said to my husband this morning, I said, well, you know, considering that they're trying to keep people from owning land anymore, and we have land. Now we'd have land if we sold those other 2 lots off. Now then I would have a neighbor, and that's fine. I can have a neighbor down there. I just don't want them to be too friendly. I'm sorry, I hate to say that. I don't want somebody who pops over all the time to say hello and wants to come in and chat. I just really don't want that. Now my husband could probably make them go away, and I won't say how, but he's, they wouldn't be around here too much when they found out how ultra traditional we are and how opinionated we are about certain things. I've tried to avoid having close neighbors all the time. That lot down there would be more private than this one because I can see the lady's house over there and I can see the roof of the guy's house down there. I can't see any other neighbors. Down there, it's much more quiet. I couldn't see her, I couldn't see him. I could still hear things in the distance, but I couldn't see anyone, and they couldn't see me. And in the summer, they can't see me anyway. But that has some benefits down there, but the whole point is to not owe any money. And I really don't want a break-even kind of thing. I would like to come out with a little bit of extra money because the house I would be building would be smaller, way smaller. Well, not smaller than this one. Basically, what it would be is it would be this square footage of the main floor plus a couple rooms brought up from the basement onto the same level. That's what that would entail. So it really, if you count all the square footage in this house, it would be smaller, probably as small or smaller than this house, but it would be more functional for us. And that was the whole point of everything, is the functionality for the rest of our lives. But when you think about what they're trying to do to keep you away from owning land, they could very well in the future make it illegal to own the kind of land that we own. Literally. They could say nobody's allowed to own more than, the government is regulation crazy. They love to regulate and control. And at the moment, this property, as it sits, is our ticket to freedom. And it's my sons, both of my sons, and I want them to hear this. If we pass on and this land is passed on to them and they sell it, they are idiots. They are idiots. This is survival right here. You've got pretty much privacy. You've got gardens. You can have you can have everything except pigs, and you can't put a mobile home on the property. That's it. That's the end of the restrictions. I can live with that. And the other 2 lots, you could sell the other 2 lots, but why would you do that? That is your barrier. That is your safe zone. Your safe zone between you and people. But there's so much benefit to this property. And I said to my husband this morning, I think I stopped saying that, got distracted, that if we could get a contractor here to tell us what he thought would be a way to make it more elderly friendly, some way. I mean, I can't rebuild the whole house. I can't tear it down and rebuild it. That's not feasible. And it's always going to be raised up off of the basement. Unless we fill in the whole thing and make the stairs shorter. I don't know how you could do that. I don't know. Just have somebody else's opinion, because I'm not, I love construction. I like to do construction, but I'm not a builder per se. So I would like to know what would make this more elderly friendly. How we can they may say, well, you can't put a ramp in because your deck's too tall and you have to turn too many times, and then you have to maintain it, and then it'd be slippery, and under the trees you get to moss on it, just like on your roof. I got moss on the roof I've got to get off. And there may not be a way. But I think we should explore that. Yes, instead of, we won't have any money come back from that. There'd just be something we'd have to do and then fill back the coffers back up. And we can do that. We're spending a lot less on groceries than we did when we were eating everything. Now that we're eating mostly meat, very few other things, our grocery bill's way lower. I'm telling you, you can afford to eat carnivore. You can. So in the future, land is going to make you the wealthy one. You're going to be the wealthy one. You're going to be the Donald Trump of the neighborhood. Hopefully they'll like you better than they like him for some reason. But if you even see them. And you're going to be the millionaire on the hill with, oh my God, they have 5 acres. Oh my gosh, only kings have 5 acres. That's what it's going to be in the future, I think. I truly believe that. Our ancestors knew that land was wealth, it was security, it was freedom. It was everything. It did everything for them. But we've forgotten that truth. We've just forgotten it somehow. This country's forgotten it. And of course, they don't want to. People are lazy. They'd rather have somebody give them their food, tell them what to inject in their bodies, and they'd rather be hooked on every kind of pharmaceutical in the world that the doctors want to push on them. I don't want to live like that, and I'm not living like that. So that's our dilemma right now. I mean, yes, I need a more elderly-friendly house. I would love to be on my own land that I'm familiar with and love, and I love the area, but I don't know. So anyway, that's the thing. That's what's going on here. But think about that: how the bans on chickens and the zero lot lines and everything is coming together to put you in the feedlot and tag you. See y'all later. Bye. Oh, I forgot one thing. I am going to do a giveaway. I mentioned it. I wanted to finish the current crochet blanket I was working on. I think you'll like that one. I have. It's going to be soon. And I have 3 to choose from, and as well a 4th prize that you could choose from is a mystery box of yarn, and I mean new skeins of yarn. Not anything that's got anything taken off of it, but brand new skeins of yarn. And we'll see how that goes. I think what I'm going to do is have everybody, not in this video, this is not the giveaway video. I think I'm going to have everybody say which one. I have numbers on them. Say which is your favorite and which is your second choice. And it could be one blanket could be your first choice, and the box of yarn could be your second choice. Depends if you crochet or not, or knit. So that's how I'm going to run that giveaway. I just wanted to talk about this today. I know it's been a long video, but yes, our rat problem is now currently non-existent at the moment, and I don't see how another rat's getting in there. I just don't see how. So, unless they actually eat through the floors, they can't. So let's see how all this shakes out with this Agenda 2030 that they're trying to push. They want to take everything away from you and make you easily controllable. Every time you hear a new ordinance being proposed, a new bill being proposed, think about it in that terms and see if it fits. See you later.